Today's top 20 tech stories. Subscribe and hit the bell for daily tech updates.
Benchmarking hybrid cache versus RDS in ASP.NET Core 11. ASP.NET Core 11 introduces hybrid cache, a caching abstraction that simplifies cache access and supports multiple cache layers, including in-memory and distributed caching through RDS. New NADMesh botnet hunts exposed AI services for cloud keys and Kubernetes tokens. A Go botnet called NADMesh has been hunting exposed AI services, compromising 3,811 unique AWS keys and 47 credentials, and cataloging DeepSeek, GLM, and Kimi models. The botnet targets cloud keys, Kubernetes service account tokens, and environment variables, compromising security and confidentiality. Production caching strategies for vector search applications. As retrieval-augmented generation and semantic search applications scale, vector database performance and API costs become critical bottlenecks, introducing high computational latency, redundant embedding API costs, and strain on vector database resources. Hyperswitch on Linux, a self-hosted payment switch for multiple processors. Hyperswitch, an open-source payment switch, is a self-hosted solution that can be run on a Linux server using Docker. It provides a single API to manage multiple payment processors, simplifying payment logic and management.
OS 26.6 delivers massive number of security fixes. Apple has released macOS 26.6 Tahoe, iOS 26.6, iPadOS 26.6, watchOS 26.6, and visionOS 26.6, primarily to address a significant number of security vulnerabilities, none of which are currently being exploited. The updates also optimize the Spotlight search index to prepare for the upcoming version 27 releases. Vulnerability giving attackers full control of Macs is under active exploitation. A critical vulnerability in macOS allowing attackers to gain full control of Macs is currently being actively exploited. July Apple updates are especially important if you receive images. Apple has released a batch of July security patches, including iOS/iPadOS 26.6, macOS Tahoe 26.6, and Safari 26.6, addressing dozens of vulnerabilities across various frameworks and apps. Users are advised to install these updates as soon as possible to improve security. Cancel your Microsoft 365 subscription and get Office for Life for $43. Microsoft is offering a lifetime license for its Office Home and Business for Mac 2021 suite for $42.97, a discount from its regular price. The package includes Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, and OneNote, and is available for immediate download, compatible with the 3 most recent macOS versions. A $200 MacBook Air is real, but supplies won't last. Apple has a limited supply of refurbished 13-inch MacBook Airs available for $199.97, a significant discount from the original MSRP of $1,199. This grade A refurbished laptop features an Intel Core i5 processor, 12-hour battery life, and a Retina display that updates to macOS Sonoma. Active attacks exploit macOS screen sharing flaw CVE 2026-65400 to gain root access. A vulnerability in macOS screen sharing CVE 2026-65400 allows attackers to gain root access and deploy Monero miners on vulnerable machines, particularly those with internet exposure. Apple brings an update to fix over 100 vulnerabilities across devices. Apple has released updates to fix over 100 vulnerabilities across its devices, including iPadOS, macOS, and other operating systems. The updates address issues in the Neural Engine, App Store, WebKit, kernel, image processing, Wi-Fi, and Siri, among others. iOS 26.6.1 likely coming soon as Apple speeds up iPhone updates. Apple is testing an upcoming iOS 26.6.1 update, which follows the release of iOS 26.6 just 2 weeks prior. Apple releases security updates to macOS Tahoe, Sequoia, and Sonoma. Apple has released security updates for macOS Tahoe, Sequoia, and Sonoma, with generic release notes stating the updates provide important security fixes and are recommended for all users. 6th release candidates for macOS Sonoma 14.8.8 and macOS Sequoia 15.7.8 now rolling out. Apple is releasing a 6th round of release candidates for macOS Sonoma 14.8.8 and macOS Sequoia 15.7.8. featuring important security fixes with build numbers 23J619 and 24G822 respectively. Security updates: macOS Tahoe 26.6.1, macOS Sequoia 15.7.9, macOS Sonoma 14.8.9 released for Mac. Apple has released security updates for macOS Tahoe 26.6.1, macOS Sequoia 15.7.9, and macOS Sonoma 14.8.9, addressing a security flaw in the screen sharing service that allows attackers to authenticate without valid credentials. The updates are recommended for all users and can be installed by going to System Settings, General Software Update, and selecting Update Now. Apple fixes screen sharing vulnerability in Tahoe, Sequoia, and Sonoma. Apple has released updates for macOS 26.6.1 Tahoe, 15.7.9 Sequoia, and 14.8.9 Sonoma to address a vulnerability in screen sharing that allows an attacker on the local network to authenticate without valid credentials. SuperDuper 4 Radical New Interface explains itself as you use it. SuperDuper 4, a backup app for Macs, has launched with a radical new interface that explains itself as users interact with it. The app's developer, Dave Nanian, has integrated context-specific documentation into the interface, providing users with plain English explanations of the app's actions and results. Apple releases macOS security updates to address screen sharing vulnerability. Apple has released security updates for macOS Tahoe 26.6.1, Sequoia 15.7.9, and Sonoma 14.8.9 to address a screen sharing vulnerability that allows attackers to authenticate without valid credentials. August 2026 Patch Tuesday Forecast. How do we deal with the patch apocalypse? Microsoft's July 2026 Patch Tuesday released a record number of security patches, addressing over 600 CVEs across various products, including Windows, SharePoint, Office, and .NET framework. The sheer volume has sparked concerns about meeting the recommended 3-day turnaround for patching, amid worries about the growing threat of AI-accelerated vulnerabilities. Apple saw a 07-27-2026-8 Safari 26.6. Apple has released Safari 26.6, addressing 3 security issues: an authorization issue with improved state management, an issue with malicious web content potentially disclosing process memory, and a UI spoofing vulnerability. Thanks for watching. Like and comment below. See you in the next update.